Okay, right over here, Stephen Means, Cleveland.com. If we can keep it to one question apiece, please.
Ryan, Bill asked you during the week just how many plays you have that are just Jackson plays, and you said a lot. And it seemed like you were getting really creative there in that second quarter with some of the play calls. How quickly have you gotten comfortable being able to be creative when you haven't had Jackson in the lineup?
Well, it all starts with the running game. And, you know, when you're running the ball well, then it certainly opens up a lot of different things. And I give our offensive staff a lot of credit, and it's starts off with Kevin Wilson. You know, Kevin Wilson is one of the best offensive minds in college football, and continues to come up with great game plans in that meeting room with Brian Hartline and Tony Alford. You know, you think about some of the guys we have in that room, you know, Justin Fry. I mean, you know, we got some really bright minds in there, so you go in there and you just come up with different ideas, and the best idea wins. But it all starts with the physicality up front and running the football effectively, and that opens up everything else.
Over to the left, Austin Ward, Rivals, 97.1.
Ryan, you mentioned throughout the week how much respect you have for Michigan State's program, and then the, I guess, quote-unquote, new challenge of going on the road, at least for this season, to handle your business as relatively quickly as you all did in the first half. What does it mean? What does it say to you about this team?
Well, it didn't exactly start the way we wanted it on offense, you know, and nobody panicked at all. I thought the way the defense played, you know, Lathan got the early interception, and just across the board, you know, we gave up a couple things on the outside and a couple penalties, but after that, and you look at it, you know, they did a great job of, you know, stopping the run. I thought defensive line was strong. Tommy and the linebackers were excellent. You know, just across the board, our guys, you know, just played strong. And that, when you have, you know, that type of back and forth and that balance on offense and defense, and they play against each other, you can see what we did there in the first half. And I thought, you know, for the first half of that third quarter as well, and even maybe into the end of that third quarter, I just think overall we played good football on the road. Certainly not perfect, and then it got a little sloppy in the fourth quarter. But you know, we just wanted to get some guys out of the game and make sure that we got to the bye week as healthy as we could. Looking forward to getting to the bye week. Looking forward to getting guys healthy and reflecting on the things that we did well in the first 6 games, but also projecting where we need to be and where we need to go. So great to get this win on the road and get into the bye week.
Ryan, obviously, just kind of thoughts on Trayvon's day getting back into the lineup, and then he looked like he got banged up in that third quarter.
Yeah, you know, we if it was a different game, he probably would have come back in. Just out of abundance of caution, we just decided to hold him out. We didn't feel like we needed to use him at that point. But I thought he ran well. You know, 19 carries, 119 yards. I thought he ran hard. You know, I thought, again, the offensive line played strong. Tight ends, again, you know, times unsung heroes. I mean, these guys are working really hard on the edge, and Cade is just a really good football player. But Trey ran hard today. It was good to see him back after last week.
Over to the left, Bill Landis, Rivals.
Ryan, you guys are, I don't know if you can be more efficient maybe than you've been with the first-team offense in there the last few weeks, but you're doing this without a full deck. You've had Trey out a little bit. You had Mine out today. You've not had Jackson really. Have you thought to yourself over the last 4 weeks, like, man, this looks really good, but I wonder what this could be when we actually have all of our pieces and we're kind of at 100%?
Yeah, sometimes, but also I feel like, you know, it's rare in today's day and age where you do have a full deck, you know, just the way the game's played. You know, it's typically you have to play depth, and we know that. And, you know, like when we talk about it in the preseason, like, who's your tailback going to be? And we always say, you're going to need 2. I don't know how it's going to shake up, but we're going to need 2. How about a receiver? We're going to need 5. We just know we're going to need this many guys because things happen. But it is exciting to know that, you know, if we can get everybody back in there, then, you know, at full strength, then, you know, certainly we can put a lot of stress on defenses.
Over here to the right, played all WSYX.
Was Mayan getting kind of a maintenance day, and your new running back, Xavier Johnson?
I thought, I mean, yeah, you know, we tried to be a little creative going into this game with some of the things that we did, and held some things, but you know, tried to do a couple different. And I thought Xavier ran the ball hard. I mean, he did a nice job on some of those runs. He's a weapon for us. You know, you saw it in the Notre Dame game. You could see it today. He's a good player. But across the board, I thought that unit played well today. You know, obviously Marvin made some amazing catches, but Emeka plays tough. You know, he catches the ball, he and Julian over the middle, and takes some of those shots, but keeps going. Warriors. And I'm proud of the way those guys played.
Over to the middle, Tim May, Lettermen Row.
Yeah, it's close enough. Hey, Ryan, you had a great view of the dime that CJ dropped in on Marvin Harrison Jr. there on the sideline and stuff. And just, you know, I know we're always asking you about CJ and his play, but, I mean, today he was, with the exception of one pass. And by the way, whose fault was that? But then number 2, he seemed to be quite on.
Well, yeah, it was a little bit of a miscommunication there. I could have done a better job helping the two of them, but I thought the best thing was it was like nothing ever happened. We just kept rolling, and that shows confidence and proud of those guys the way that they played. But yeah, that was a tremendous catch by Marvin. I mean, I was amazed. It was like he jumped up and caught it by his ankles. I mean, it was just an acrobatic catch by just a tremendously talented player. So it was fun to watch him out there. And then, yeah, I mean, what can you say about somebody who's throwing the ball like that in 20-mile-an-hour wind? At least it seemed like it was. I mean, it was blowing it a couple times, and for him to throw it that accurately, that was really well done on the road. It just was clicking. You could see the timing. He was able to step in the pocket. A big part of that is the protection. Our offensive line did a good job giving him a good pocket. And when you do that, he can do some damage. And I thought he embraced the game plan, worked it, had a good thought process the whole game, had a good look in his eye. To throw, was he 21 to 26? That was the 361 and 6 touchdowns. That's one heck of a day on the road. So. Especially, at a program as proud as Michigan State and coming in here as our first road game. Big day for CJ.
Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Your defense is obviously playing very well. The one issue you guys have is the cornerback play. How concerned are you? You pulled Cam out of the game at one point. You were talking to him. Can you share what you shared with him, and how big a concern is that for you?
Well, again, I keep looking at it, and we're there. We just don't seem to be making the plays. So we got to figure that part of it out. I think if it's something where, guys just are just creating separation, we can't cover anybody, that's one issue. This issue seems to be that we're there, we're just not quite making the play. So we got to address it. I know we can do that. I know we can. We have the right guys over there, and they're pressing a little bit, but that's okay, and they're doing some really good things. So just, he's very competitive, and he wants to be great and be the best corner in the country. And so, he's a little frustrated. Just got to calm down and play with emotion. Don't let emotion play with you, and get yourself back on track. But overall, I think our defense is playing very, very well. Like you said, I think Tommy's playing at a high level. The D-line's playing. The safety play has been excellent. I think Ronnie Hickman has been a really good leader for us. Tommy's shown good leadership. And I think when you talk about winning on the road, leadership has to show up. Veteran guys have to play veteran. And it looked like, I have to watch the film, but it looked like that happened today.
Over to the middle, Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
You're winning by 4+ touchdowns. It feels like rinse and repeat. And from this side, it's almost like nitpicking to pick apart. Is that fair to nitpick this team, to look at the cornerbacks? And do you nitpick behind the scenes, say, going forward?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And that's a good thing. We get a little defensive because, it seems nitpicky at times, but you know what? We want to be the best in the country. That's our goal. And we want to challenge to be the best in the country. So, yeah, we have to figure out how we can get better in different areas. And we're not just going to sit here and say, oh, it was a great game, we're good. No, we're not. No, we have to keep building and keep growing. And that's the point that we have to make sure that we address here during the bye week. Okay, here's what we did. These are the past 6 games. They don't mean a thing moving forward. I think you can see what we're capable of, and that's exciting. But any given Saturday, anything can happen. And I'm not sure what happened today in college football, but I'm sure there were some crazy things. I don't know. But, these guys are still 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old players. And the competitive stamina is the angle that we've been taking, just to bring it every single week. And I think you're seeing some of that.
Folks, we'll have a few more questions for Coach David. In the meantime, I do have wide receiver Emeka Abuka on the wall there. If a few of you want to have a group huddle with him right there. But we'll continue with Coach Dave over here to the left.
I'd have a few questions for Emeka if I was a reporter.
We've got Tony Girdman, Buckeye huddle, and I'm going to bring Tommy Eichenberg up here to sit at the far left. Let's do a couple questions a couple more for Coach Dave, and then we'll open it up for Tommy.
Ryan, are you still able to be surprised by some of the catches Marvin makes, and what did you think of that last touchdown catch?
Yeah, I was surprised. I think maybe if they saw my face on camera, I was like, "What was that?" That was a tremendous catch. We do see things in practice, but that was special.
Over here in the middle, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Yeah, Ryan, just to follow up on Travion, it seemed like he was running with a little bit of an extra edge there in that first half. Did you see some extra fire from him this week after not being able to play last week?
Yeah, I don't know if that's what it was, but I saw it too. I thought he was running hard. He was running physical. He was finishing runs. Yeah, you could see that. He had a bounce in his step, and he was running determined. Yep.
Over here to the right, Doug Lamarice, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, you got a lot of guys who make spectacular catches, but this isn't just today. It just doesn't seem like your receivers drop many balls, and I know it's knock on wood if you want, but I don't know. Is Is that true? How important is that it seems like also you guys make the routine catches almost all the time?
I think you get into a rhythm of the game, and then, like, for instance, we had the early turnover, and nobody batted an eye. I think if something like that were to happen in a game, we just keep rolling. I just think that's the way we practice, and we have a certain level of expectation of efficiency. And if it doesn't happen, we're surprised. But when it does, we don't fret over it. We just kind of move on and go from there. But I think the confidence is the most important thing in the pass game.
Okay, we're gonna go one more for Coach Day over here. Nathan Barrett, Cleveland.com. Justin, do you need one for Coach? Okay.
Ryan, you used that term, like stressing defenses. When it came to Marvin as a prospect, and then now, I guess, how did you see yourself someday being able to stress defenses with him, and then how is he surpassing that, or is he doing it in different ways than you expected?
Well, I don't want to embarrass him because he's sitting right here, but I'm going to anyways. Maybe he won't like this, but it's a is it Friday or Thursday? I'm just walking through the facility, and he's out there on the jugs with Reach Stockdale going through, I think, the script of practice and the game plan in the facility by himself, just going through it over and over and over again. I think you ask anybody on our team, they say, oh, there's Marvin again working by himself. So this isn't something, he's been blessed with a lot of gifts and talent, but he has unbelievable discipline and skill. And when you take a tremendous amount of talent and mix it with discipline and skill, that's what you're seeing right there. And did we see all of that in recruiting? We saw some of it, but the rest of it, is a credit to him as a person and his work ethic.
Coach, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
We're gonna open up Justin Holbrook and then Andy Arthurs.
7 yards rushing for Michigan State. What goes into that? It's a mentality. It's a mindset for that defense to not give up more than 10 yards rushing. What is it? What is the formula for you guys, and why have you been continually successful through these first 6 weeks?
I think just a hard week of practice, emphasizing, we got to stop the run is a big thing for our defense. So, when we bring that attitude, it helps.
And for Marvin, just where does that work ethic come from? Obviously, you're talented. We've seen the games, 3 touchdowns now in 3 different games. You're the first one to ever do that here. Why put in the extra work knowing what you're already capable of?
I'll just say, just wanted to be great, wanted to be a great football player, wanted to help my team win, so I'll just try to put as much work as I can to help us win.
Where are we? Over here, Austin Ward, Rivals, and 7.1.
Marvin, how the hell did you catch that last touchdown?
Just talking to Coach Hart, we talk a lot about going up and get the ball, being aggressive to the catch point, using my size and strong hands, so just practice.
Where are we over here? Cameron T. Robinson, The Athletic.
Marvin, kind of off that, right here, yep. At what point do you remember those type of catches feeling routine for you, or do they feel routine?
No, I definitely surprise myself sometimes, but you also have to have the confidence in yourself that you can make, any play out there. So I just try to make everything feel routine. That's why I put all the work in, so nothing surprises me.
You're in the middle, Andy Andrews, or something like that.
Andrews, close enough. This question's for Tommy, about Mike Hall. I'm not sure if you ran any of these types of stunts tonight, but a few times this season, something that's kind of freed you up as a rusher on blitz is kind of looping over Mike as he slants down. What about him and his skill set as a pass rusher kind of frees you up on those blitzes to make sacks and pressure the quarterback?
Yeah, he's really disruptive as a pass rusher, but also great in the run game too. But I think O-line focuses on him, and it kind of frees up other people too. So,
awesome. Thank you.
Where's the microphone? Spencer Holbrook, Lettermen Row. Hey, before we ask, I'm going to bring Michael Hall over here, and if we can just maybe carve out a little spot right here, if anybody wants to gather around Michael.
Michael.
And then we'll continue with Marvin and Tommy here. Go ahead, Spencer. And then Tim,
Marvin.
you got a microphone next one. Okay.
Marvin, it seems like you and Emeka just kind of trade punches and who can make a better catch and who can make the defense look sillier. How much fun is it to be out there with Emeka? And then when you think about getting Jackson back here soon, the thought of all 3 of you on the field together with Julian as the complement,
it's scary to me, so I can only imagine what it is to the rest of the country. But we just like to go out there, have fun. We put a lot of work in during the week to be able to succeed. come Saturday. So that's really all it is. Seeing the hard work pay off. We get to have fun on Saturdays. That's really what it is.
Hey, Marvin, you've been scoring touchdowns, especially at an alarming rate. When we talk about a red zone threat, people say they look for them in the red zone. What makes a touchdown score or a red zone threat? Why do you excel once they get inside the 20?
I mean, we just have a lot of focus on that. Coach, just one of Coach Day's things that he tried to emphasize this to us. We got to score touchdowns in the red zone. We can't have field goals. We got to score touchdowns. So, just trying to develop that confidence that he has in me to come to me in the red zone and make the plays. We definitely need 7 points instead of 3. That could be a big change in the game. So, we just trying to emphasize that, and got to have I try to work on it throughout the week. So that's really what it is.
Anyone have another question for Tommy Eichenberg?
I had one for both of them.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, for Tommy, real quick before you go, you guys get this off week. What have y'all accomplished defensively in your mind the first half of this season, and where do y'all still have room to grow? I know it's a general question, but I don't think y'all feel like you've played your perfect game yet, right?
No, yeah, we haven't played our best game yet. So week in, week out, we're just gonna keep trying to get better. Use this bye week to get better. So.
Thank you, man.
Great, Tommy. Thank you very much.
Marvin, you said you got to high point the ball, but that last one you kind of back pointed it.
Yep.
I mean, how many of these catches have you actually somehow or another done before? Or, like the dime that CJ dropped on you on the right sideline there and stuff. But how many of those have you actually done before, or just naturally it just happens?
I'm pretty sure a lot throughout my whole life, just playing football for a while. You try to make those routine plays every day, so probably a lot. Just trying to make a play.
Which one was your favorite today?
They were all pretty good, man. Yeah, that's all.
What's it like to be? What's it like to be in the record book though? Three games of 3 or more touchdown catches. You're the only guy that's ever done that here. What does that mean to you?
I mean, it's honestly such a blessing. You think about all the great receivers that have come through Ohio State. To be the first person to do that, I mean, I can't even really describe what that means to me. So I'm just gonna keep working though. Hopefully, no more touchdowns come.
All right, we're going to go ahead and let Marvin go. Marvin, thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
Great game, and we're going to open up the floor for questions for Ronnie Hickman. Go ahead, Tim. Or go ahead, Nathan.
Go ahead, Nathan.
I guess this team, this offense is, I think, leading the nation in first half scoring. Just how is that helping the defense maybe get its feet under it and grow over the first half of this season?
It's a tremendous benefit just to know that your offense is capable of scoring anywhere on the field. And actually seeing them do that week in and week out is huge. So it's just a benefit for the defense.
Jerry, you want to go ahead and ask one?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hey,
Brandon, come on up.
Ronnie, just kind of follow up on what I asked Tommy there. You might have a few more words about it, but what have you guys got accomplished defensively this first half of this season? Just generally, and where can y'all go the next 2 weeks?
The sky's the limit. We're not even fully healthy, so I think we just got to use this bye week to get fully healthy defensively and offensively. But defensive specifically, we know what we can do. We've showed some of the flashes of what we can do, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be put in.
Austin Ward, Rivals, 97.1.
Ronnie, what did it mean to you all in the secondary to have Lathan back?
Huge. I mean, you see when he did first drive of the game. That was huge for us. They were kind of moving the ball better than we expected. But for him to do that is huge.
Lathan gets the interception. Then there's the pick six. You guys didn't seem the least bit fazed by that. Can you just kind of describe the mindset of this team when adversity does hit, which doesn't happen too often?
It's a part of the game. Stuff happens all the time. Everyone doesn't play perfect, but you got to be ready to go when your number's called. So we take pride in sudden change and not giving up a touchdown because it's pretty easy for offenses. Is once they turn the ball over and then they get the ball out and then it kind of can get bad out. But we take pride in going out there and stopping them.
Ronnie, I want to ask you about the speed with which the defense is playing. Do you feel like today was the fastest that you guys have played? And if it wasn't, where could you be faster?
I would say just the little things. But like I said earlier, Coach Knowles wants us to have a fast defense. He wants us to play with vision on the quarterback. And I just think each week we're taking strides to becoming better at that specifically.
CJ, I won't start you out with a question about the interception, but for 6 touchdowns to 4 different guys and to get everybody involved like that. But Marvin in particular, when you throw that ball on the last touchdown of Marvin, what's going through your head? Or do you just know that he's going to go up and get it? And to watch the play that he made there, Just how impressed were you with the way Marvin controlled his body like that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think, first of all, I want to give all glory and praise to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Having the opportunity to come all the way up here and compete with my brothers. But, yeah, when you see Marvin and the work he puts in during the week, I think definitely that's what builds confidence. And then staying after practice, the summer workouts, the summer routes that we've thrown, and just give them a chance. I mean, they're so dynamic out there, and they always have a 50-50 chance, which I think is more like 70-30. So just because he's so big, strong, and I definitely think it's the work ethic that he has.
CJ, when he actually makes that catch, Marvin, on the last one, like, what was your vantage point of it? Were you even impressed with this one compared to some others? Like, what did you see as you put that one away for the final touchdown?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew that it was a kind of a cloud look. They wanted to not leave him on an ISO, but the corner kind of played man principle. So Marvin did a good job by just staying wide. I tried to just put it wide as possible as I could. I could probably put it a little higher. But with those type of guys, all you got to do is give them a chance. So that's what I tried to do in that instance, and it was a hell of a catch. So I'm super happy for him.
After the pick six, you didn't look phased at all, just went back out there and ran the show. First of all, what happened on that play, and what's the mindset after something like that?
I mean, this next play, there's no positive in thinking about negative things that happened to you in the past, and I definitely think that that has to do with some of my off-the-field character, just being prayed up and making sure that that I know that I mean, at the end of the day, mistakes happen. So just miscommunication between me and Emeka. I thought he was going to slam it down, but he did the smart thing by taking off, and just got to be better at that. The Zero made a hell of a play. So, but with those instances, that's why I mess with Coach. That's why I love Coach Day so much, and my offense is that they always have my back no matter what. And I mean, at the end of the day, plays happen, and you just got to bounce back. It's always about the answer. It's never how you start, how you finish. So I think that maybe last year taught us that a lot, and then maybe just my life growing up, just perseverance, just working through tough times and tough plays. So that's probably why we ended up playing good after that.
Go ahead, Bill.
CJ, all the balance and efficiency that you guys have right now, you know, it looks like it's supposed to look at the best offense in the country, but you're doing it without a full deck. You've had running backs in and out. You've obviously not had Jackson. When you think about how well you're performing now and know that those guys can get healthier, can get back into the lineup, like, where else can this offense go once that happens, you think?
I mean, I don't really think we have a limit. I'm super excited. Excuse me. I'm super excited to get Jackson back, and of course with Mayan, just to see where we're at full strength. So, but at the end of the day, I think we gotta press this bye week and make sure that we continue to get better, and hopefully they come along. And of course, I know Jackson and Mayan are two veterans that we need when you add leadership into that as well. They've definitely stepped up in that area. So I definitely think that they'll come in and have an immediate impact. And I'm actually bummed for Jackson, man. All the work that he puts in and how hard of a worker he is. He's a good guy. So when your brother's not out there with you, it kind of hurts a little bit. So, and then we've also had to adjust with that just because he's such a dominant player in there in the slot position, even on the outside. So I'm super excited to get him back. Super excited to get mine back as well. I think Trey did a great job today, being one of our only backs going to be low on numbers, and Dallin did a great job as well, including X. Yeah, I'm super excited to get everybody back.
We'll go over here. Steven Means, and then Clay on this side, and then Tim May next over here.
CJ, Emeka was talking about when there are mistakes like that, you're very calm in games, while in practice you're maybe a little bit more edgy to get the rep back and get the rep back. Why take the more edgy approach in practice, and why are you so calm in the game?
I definitely think Mecca kind of hit it on the point. I think the reasoning for that is just practice is harder than the games, if you ask me. Sometimes that's not always the case because you do play against great teams, and Michigan State was a good team. They're not terrible. I mean, they haven't lost big except for one time. So, and then their backs were on the ropes. So, knowing that we had to come in and play a team that was really didn't have nothing to lose, I mean, it's tough. So during the week, definitely got to push greatness and just perfection, because once you get in the game, it kind of becomes just rhythm. And once you get going, you get going. So, But yeah, to staying calm, I definitely think that has to play off with just our off-season work and knowing that we didn't come in here for anything but a win. So just working hard past that, and then it's not life or death. So like it's nothing to be crying about or lose my mind over. And then when you have a coach like Coach Day and Coach Wilson are going to call it just as good as before you had an interception, whatever the case may be, that just gives you all the confidence in the world. So.
Over here to the right, Tim.
Yeah, two quickies, CJ. Number one, the dime you dropped in on Marvin Harrison Jr. down the right sideline wasn't even a touchdown, but you stood in the face of that blitzer and delivered that pass. Just take us through that play and how cool did that feel leaving your hand? And then number two, you're the first quarterback to have 3 6-touchdown games, passing games in Ohio State history. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, the one was third down. I want to say it was probably like 3rd and 4 around there. They were on like a split mugs look, knowing that my linemen were in a lock squeeze, which is basically they squeeze down the linebacker and the end will come free. The first time they ran that, I think that's what they did the second time because they did it 2 times in a row. And I told Mecca to do something if he comes, and I thought they zone dropped instead of staying in man-to-man. So I didn't want to throw it in the middle blatantly without seeing what was in there. So knowing that Marvin is a really good one-on-one matchup, I just try to give him a shot. I had somebody in my face, but I mean, I definitely think that I try to just stay in there as strong as I could and deliver a good throw because, I mean, those type of moments in the game are really big because if you don't convert right there, then it's a short field for the opposing team's offense, and I definitely think those are big-time downs. What was the second question again?
I think you're the first player ever.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a blessing, man. Definitely, all glory has to go to God because, I mean, I wouldn't even be at a place like Ohio State, 2,000 miles away from home, somewhere I never thought I'd be if it wasn't for him. So I'm super blessed just to be able to go out there with my brothers. But it's not just me. It's my linemen. It's my receivers running great routes, my tight ends blocking and running great routes, and my running backs toting the ball so good. So it's a small part by me.
Over here, Clay Hall.
Yes, CJ, when you look back at the run of quarterbacks here recently, JT, Cardell, Dwayne, Justin, are you inspired or motivated by them and the success that they've had in the, I mean, is this quarterback you? I mean, it's starting to, over time here, to make a real impression.
Yeah, that was definitely one of my reasonings for coming to Ohio State. Of course, with Coach Day's offense and the great players, and then of course practice. That was a big reason why I came here because of practice, just going against the best every day. But yeah, I mean, I look up to those guys like JT. I look up to Joe. I know he was here. Dwayne, RP to him. I write him on my wristband every week just to give. I dedicated the season to him, so I definitely think that. And then of course Justin, who I played with. Plays a part into why I came here, and hopefully I'm holding the legacy on. I'm making them proud.
We've got time for just a couple more, folks. Brendan, go ahead.
CJ, I want to ask you about leadership. You know, it feels like you are getting, over your time here at Ohio State, more and more comfortable understanding how fast things can happen around you and your ability to kind of stay calm. Where do you feel like you've taken the biggest step with your leadership and your ability to slow the game down?
Yeah, I mean, excuse me. I've always kind of, glory to God. I've always been a natural born leader. I've kind of always been the quarterback on my team. So, just early on playing with the Altaloma Warriors when I was young, playing with the Pomona Valley Steelers. Those are two youth teams, but they teach you to be like that at an early age. I mean, the stakes aren't as big, but coming to a place like Ohio State, I never really knew how big it was until I got here. But it's not the same. You can't look at the outside. You can't look at the good nor bad. And I think that has to play with my leadership as well, being here, just blocking out the outside noise, because good or bad, people are going to hate you. People are going to love you. It doesn't really matter. I play for an audience of one in my family, which is the Buckeye Brotherhood and my mom, sister, brothers, STM, my family back home. So, I definitely think that pays into it. And it's just short-term memory. I think that definitely as a quarterback you have to have that. So I think that's how and then, Coach Mick, he's definitely been a strong part in that. It's just he used to get on my last nerves coming in, and I ain't gonna lie, like I did not like Coach Mick at all. So, but it teaches you, like, even though you're irritated or whatever the case may be, you keep going. So I appreciate Coach Mick and Coach Day for always pushing me.
Okay, we got time for just a couple more. We're gonna go Joey, Dan, and Larry. Go ahead, Joey.
CJ, as far as kind of being level-headed, having the short-term memory, it sounds like maybe that was emphasized when you were a younger quarterback. Were you good at that, like at a young age, like high school, like kind of you make an interception and you flip the page and be level-headed, or is there something you feel like you've really gotten better at?
I feel like I've gradually definitely gotten better. I'm not a huge, I don't know. I wouldn't call myself a huge emotional person. So I'm not big in showing a lot of my emotions, at least, especially when your brothers are watching. And I think that has to play a part of growing up with two older brothers. They kind of were mean to me. And then, of course, my sister probably worse. They used to beat me up, do all type of stuff. But, I mean, if I cried, they would do it worse. So I definitely think there's no tactical advantage of whining or complaining about anything. So I definitely, that plays a part. But high school, I was better than I was in youth. And then growing up with my coaches were very hard on me growing up. Coach Tojo, Coach Jamie, Coach Bub. I'm not trying to miss anybody. T-Dub, Coach Fly. I mean, they yelled at me. They did a lot of crazy stuff, like a lot of hard workout. So, but it grooms you at a young age just to realize like the role that you have and the responsibility you have as a quarterback on a football team. So, without them, I would never be here. So, shout out to them.
CJ, it seemed like Travion was running with an extra edge when he was out there today after not playing last week. Is that something you noticed from him today?
Yeah, I mean, I hope number one is okay. I pray for him while I was out there, but it's a crazy sport, and I definitely think Trey ran very hard. I definitely think he has something not just to prove, but prove to himself that he can still go out there and dominate. So I'm super excited, super happy for him to go out there. And it's tough being one of the only backs and having to come back. And so he was back there tired, and I definitely think that shows to the work ethic he has as well of just not being denied. And I'm super happy for him. And I definitely think that him and mine are a dynamic duo, and they'll do great things in the future. So excited to see that.
And final question, Larry Lake, AP.
CJ, can you just share a little bit more detail about honoring Dwayne Haskins? What do you write? Is it on tape or wristband? And did you ever meet him?
Yeah, I've met him twice. One time up here, then one time as a high schooler at the Elite 11 camp. But I'll just write LLDH7, long live Dwayne Haskins 7. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't say that I haven't forgot about him. I don't know if anybody else has, but he's here. You know what I'm saying? He walks in the spirit with me, maybe not in the flesh, but I know that I was rooting him on when he was still playing, and I know that he roots me on now, even back then, last year when I played here too. So I send my condolences to his family. I know it's probably still really raw and tough time for them. So my condolences go to them. I know how it is to lose somebody close to you. And I also write long live my cousin who passed away 3 years ago last summer. So he was one person who introduced me to football as well. His name is Sam House. So long live my cousin S3. And I just try to honor people like that because I don't like forgetting people because when he was here, everybody loved him. So why not still love him? So I'll try to just show that message. It's just tape.
CJ, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, folks.
House, House.